Hey, it's Don. Today we're going to look at some of my sales from one single day, and I'll show you offers I haven't even accepted in the whole works from a non-eBay site. This is not eBay that we are going to look at. It's a site I've used for years now. It's a site that we've sold hundreds and hundreds of items on and made tens of thousands of dollars on. Hey, it's Don. Today we're going to look at some of my sales from one single day, and I'll show you offers I haven't even accepted in the whole works from a non-eBay site. This is not eBay that we are going to look at. It's a site I've used for years now. It's a site that we've sold hundreds and hundreds of items on and made tens of thousands of dollars on. Got a lot of items on the site, so a little different if you just have a small handful of items. You may not see the activity that we do. One of the biggest factors too of this site, which is called Hip Postcard. They have many different sites. They have Hip Postcard, Hip Comics, and Hip Stamps. These are all of Hip sites. They have 3 different sites. But in the last year and a half or so on the site, our sales have been flying and flying and flying. It's turned into selling multiple items on many days of the week, with mostly every day selling something or having offers to accept, counter, or whatever the case may be. So we're going to look at one specific day, which was yesterday's sales. That's it, just yesterday's sales. Well, I'll show you yesterday's offers that we'll still have to accept as well. But again, this is a site for us that has made us tens of thousands of dollars. It's a direct import from eBay, so the stuff comes straight from eBay. There is a semi-decent link where you can sync your items and remove them. The biggest factor with this is when they're sold on eBay, they're taken off Hip and you don't have to mess with that. There's a little download. You can go and download it at the end of the day, or just manually delete the couple that you sell per day, and off you go. Everybody asks, where else do I sell? Here it is. So this is Hip, if you're unaware of it. And to be honest with you, I sell something on Hip every single day of the week, and usually it's multiple items. Now, we've got a ton of items. They're all imported directly from eBay, no charge to bring them in or anything. There's a charge to have the listings on their platform, but it's not very much comparatively. Again, 24,000 items we have active. Just since yesterday at around noon, and it's 9 a.m. in the morning, or around 9 right now, we've sold 5 different sales, had 5 different sales. Now, one sale, though, was quite a few items. $154 on this sale. We've got another sale up here for $15, another sale here for just about $8, 4 more sales to one single person here for a total of $79, and then I've got another one here for $6. Now, all told, that's around $300, just over $300. And that's just in, less than a day's time frame, and that's typical. The sales on this site have been flying off the hook for us, constantly, daily. And on top of that, I still have one more that I'm waiting payment on, and I have 3 more offers, all since yesterday at around noon. So looking at the offers as well here, offer-wise, I've got an offer for $28 on an item, $18 on another item, and $12 on a third item. That's added into the $300 or so dollars we've already sold and received payment for. Again, I have an item that's sold for around $15 or $20 as well that hasn't been paid for yet. So all told in one day, that's almost $400 off this site. And again, this is not eBay. eBay is not the only site that you can make money on. And that's part of the aspect here. The amount of sales that are coming from off-platform, off eBay, are growing. Not on every platform, but there are some that have gained massive ground, such as Hip. Now, they're not paying me to say this. I've been on Hip for years now and have sold tens of thousands of dollars on the platform without any real issue. Again, it's not for everybody. It's mostly paper on this one. This is Hip Postcard. But most of what we sell, or at least more than half of it, is not postcards. Hip Postcard, you can import anything that's basically paper in the collectibles area on eBay. So it's automatically imported. You don't have to do anything other than click a few buttons. We do pull items down once they sell on this platform from eBay. If they sell on eBay, they're automatically, though, pulled down from Hip. So we don't have to worry about it that way. I usually like to have a direct sync. There is no direct sync option that will auto sync everything between HIP and eBay, so we do have to pull some stuff down. Now, they do have a little app. You can pull a little code down, a script, and it will remove them from eBay for you. But we just do it real quick. It just takes a second. So while we're pulling the items out, I can immediately just end them on eBay. It just takes a moment. So this is the only site that we do that for. All the other sites pretty much are synced up with something, so I don't really have to worry about it, to be honest with you. I don't use a service per se, but Shopify will sync anything. It's only $30 or so a month for, geez, a couple 100,000 listings, so you can't go wrong on the price. Ink Frog's out there. That still does work. It's a little slower, but there are other options too. We don't use anything such as List Perfect or Vendo or any of those because the prices are horrendous, and with like List Perfectly, it doesn't auto sync. You've got to do 10 times the amount of work that you would with any of the other direct sync import options that I've ever seen. And again, it doesn't do what it says it's going to do. And most of the other platforms, the cost is extremely huge. Vendo was huge for the amount of listings we have. None of the other ones are practical overall. But, you know, HIP for us, we don't do anything. It just auto imports. When you list it on eBay, it auto imports here. When we run a sale on eBay, the sale cross discounts to HIP. And it looks like the item's on sale on HIP, and it draws in even more. So whenever I do any of the acts like end and sell similar on eBay, and then I restart my sales and markdown, that all affects sales and helps increase sales on HIP as well as other platforms too. Now this is the landing page for HIP. They've got tons of different stuff. They've got daily deals. There's other items. There's featured items. This is an item here for $1,700. So they've got all sorts of valuables. You name it, you can find it on HIP. It pretty much runs the same way eBay used to. The searches work very well. There's no real issues with searching or finding items that you want. I don't get any complaints compared to eBay complaints from buyers. On eBay, buyers are always having issues not being able to pay. Things aren't showing right. It doesn't accept their all kinds of different things, but I don't hear about those here on HIP. Everything on HIP has been fairly good for us. We haven't had any real issues. The quantity of listings has gone up from other vendors. The amount of listings on HIP in general is growing and growing and growing. So all told, it's a very good site for us. Daily sales pretty much, and good sales as well. Now, price of a sale item, we're getting eBay prices or higher in many cases. I sell to foreign overseas purchasers as well who do not wish to go through eBay anymore because of all the extra fees that they charge when they're importing goods as well. So if you've got a bunch of items in the paper category, HIP may be for you. Now HIP also has HIP comics and HIP stamps as well too. So you can sell many different things in the comic side of HIP. You can sell t-shirts and action figures as well as the comic books and posters and all sorts of different things as well. Now this isn't again a paid advertisement. They're not paying me at all. I have no coordination with HIP whatsoever. Haven't talked to them in quite some time, but I do use them every single day. I do sell quite a few items, and those amounts of items have steadily increased to a very good amount of merchandise being sold on the platform. Well, there we have it. Hopefully that gave you some ideas, some thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell all your friends. So once again, I'm back from another haul. This is another Facebook Marketplace 78 record haul. And as you can see, I got quite a few. There's probably a good 1,000 records or so in here. He listed it for $250. He marked it down to $100, and that was his bottom line on it. I've got more in there. There's two 78 albums in here. There's two of these.
Can you tell if a girl's married just by looking at her? Sure. Her hands give her away. After a lot of housework, her hands don't look so feminine, especially around the knuckles.
Well, I like that. Come here, look at this.
What?
Over here. What's wrong with these knuckles?
Hey, you must be different. These are much too smooth to be married hands. Very pretty, feminine hands.
You know, I think that's because I do dishes with new, clear joy. Look at this.
I can see right through it.
So you can see how mild it is.
Well, you mean clearness means mildness?
Well, it certainly seems to with joy. Still think you can tell by her hands if a girl's married?
Sure you can. I mean, if she's wearing a wedding ring. On the hand, the joy keeps so feminine looking.